super awkward at the beginning, and then I feel better. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Tay from Garrett and Tay, and today I'm doing a special video with a special guest,
Bianca!
Anyway, we're doing a video today about friendship and like just half like our top tips for friendship and half we did some question and answer
Q&As.
We're doing half a Q&A. So on my DMs on Instagram, by the way, if you're not following me, you should, at Taylor Christianson. You guys DM me some questions, so we're gonna get through as many as we can. So before we go through the questions, which we won't be able to get to all of them because there was a lot. Disclaimer, we're obviously not perfect friends. Oh, she's one of my best friends. Did I already say that? I'm not a perfect friend. Like this is like one of the best, as in like most healthy and fruitful friendships that I've had, because I've been through a lot of people. As you get older, I think it's harder to, or you just really figure out who's real friends and who's not. We're gonna share top tips before we go into the questions. My top tip for friendship is to put it plainly, just like don't put up with BS, because I think I probably stayed, obviously I'm not perfect either, but I kept some people in my life that were really unhealthy for me for a long time because I felt like it was the right thing to do to be nice to that person and stay there with them, but like they were kind of hurting me in the process and I was not feeling encouraged by friendship, which I think the point of friendship is to have someone that you know is there for you no matter what and to encourage you. So if you really feel like a friendship is unhealthy, then you should cut it.
Agreed. Mine, and this is just for me learning relationships in general with friends and even with dating or family, learning the other people's personalities and the other person's love languages, because I feel like we as people treat people the way that we want to be treated generally is a pretty good rule, but sometimes I think we love people the way that we want to be loved, and that's not necessarily how people receive love. One of the things Taylor and I did when we first started our friendship was took a personality test, so we got to know each other and learned a little bit more about the other person, instead of just thinking that everyone thinks the way that I think, that other people receive love in a totally different way than I want to receive it. So I feel like that's been the most fruitful thing for me generally across my friendships and relationships, is learning how the other person wants to be treated. And
I think it sounds really cheesy that we took a personality test, but I think it was really, really helpful.
It was so, like, I want to do it with everybody that I become friends with now.
It's already been 5 minutes.
Good, we talked too much.
First question, I'm not gonna say your usernames or anything because I don't know who wants to be revealed, because they're about friendships and I don't know if your friends know that you're trying to cut them out of your life.
We got some drama.
Yeah, some people actually ask like, please don't share my name because I don't want my friends knowing that I want, anyway, just potential bad situation. But someone said, how do you find friends who have the same values/beliefs as you? I'm gonna try to keep things really simple. We don't need to make them too complicated. If you want to find friends that have the same beliefs and values as you, they're gonna be doing the same things that you're doing. So if you want people that have a faith, you're probably gonna find those friends at church or at like a Bible study, something like that. If you want to find friends who really think partying is the best thing ever, then maybe you go partying and you'll find friends there. So the point is, like, basically wherever you hang out is the kind of people you're gonna find. It's just pretty simple.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not that hard.
Yep.
I don't feel like. Who of you passes more gas?
Definitely Tay.
Have you ever genuinely put in every effort into being friends and still feel unwanted? What all do you try before you give up?
Most importantly, I would ask if you've had that conversation with the other person. Going back to setting expectations, if you didn't set expectations that you need a certain thing in a friendship, that other person might have no idea that they're not fulfilling what you need in a friendship. If you haven't had that conversation, definitely open up that conversation. If you have had that conversation with them and you're still not receiving those things, then I might evaluate where the friendship really is.
Also, I think it's important to have realistic expectations.
Yes.
Because like, hello, adulthood. We hang out barely ever, but she's still one of my closest friends, and some of my other friends that are really good friends, I literally haven't hung out with them in like 2 months, but I don't feel like we don't have good friendships. It's just like being an adult is crazy, and as long as the other person knows you really care about them, it really is quality over quantity. When you are in adulthood, it's different when you're younger. Like in high school, you see people all the time. But some people asked about relationships and how to get over jealousy when your friend has a boyfriend or girlfriend, and I'm like, that's an awkward balance, because I've been in that place where like it is easy to feel like if you're single and the other person has a relationship, that they're choosing that other person over you, but like ultimately that's kind of the priority. Not that they don't love you anymore, but eventually when you get married, like your spouse is your #1 priority. So you have to respect that they have other relationships aside from you, and it's gonna change things. So I just think expectations, like you can't be unrealistic about it and expect to see the person all the time.
One of my favorite things about Taylor was her boldness in setting those expectations. Like something that I will never forget she said was that she likes people to be intentional. So if I didn't know that, and I wasn't, well, I feel like everybody should be intentional in relationships, but if you hadn't said that, I wouldn't make it such a priority, and that helps us not be crappy friends.
Yeah.
Because we know.
I just feel like being a friend isn't that hard.
No.
But like, so many people suck. Like, they just, why do you need to lie?
Yep.
If you really, I need to read the next question because I just can't. Have you ever had a best friend that you or they moved away, you didn't keep in touch, but when you reunited, your friendship picked back up where it left off? Yes?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But also no.
Yes, both.
You lose touch with them, but like it kind of happens naturally, and that's, I don't know. But I do think like if you go and visit them in a couple years or they visit you, it can definitely pick up where it left off. But you do change a lot when you don't see each other for years, so you have to expect that. A lot of people are asking how to meet new people and having a hard time finding new friends.
This is gonna sound cliche, but I prayed for a long time for new friendships. I had my own idea of what I wanted in a friend, and all the people that I'm really, really good friends with now, I didn't really love at first. Like they weren't my favorite people, and I wasn't like, oh yeah, I want to be friends with that person, and I wouldn't have expected a friendship to flourish from it, but those people are the ones that I'm really good friends with. Be more open-minded to meeting people that you're not identical to and don't totally agree with everything on, because most of my friendships I don't think exactly like the other person, and I really like those people.
I say leave your house.
Yeah.
You can't really complain about not finding new friends if you're not really trying, and I don't think you can be mad that like no one's approaching you and asking you to hang out. Like you're equally just as capable to contact someone and ask them to hang out. If you're doing that and having a hard time, there's just social events all the time. Like you don't need to meet one person and be like, hey, let's go hang out by ourselves sometime. Like find a public event where there's like just a bunch of people. I don't even know. What's an example? Like are there websites where they post? I feel like city events, or like, I mean, this sounds, if you're not into church, but like churches always have events. They usually have like young adult groups, but if you don't want to do that and you're not comfortable with that, I feel like there's just other things. There's like rec sports. Yeah. Yes. You could do recreational sports or like clubs. I don't know. There's probably a ton of stuff.
And social media is a thing. You could honestly post on social media and say, hey, I'm looking to meet some new people. Would any group of girls, we had a friend of ours that started a girls' day thing where they just meet up and go get coffee, and she was creating her own environment to go meet friends and make new friends. So it's an excuse to say that you don't have that opportunity. Sometimes you have to be the leader.
How do you deal with friendships you know are long-term and the ones you know are just temporary?
The ones that are long-term deserve more of your investment. I mean, I think every interaction you have with people in life can be an opportunity to learn something from them or for them to learn something from you. But the friends that you know are going to be around for a long time and are really going to be invested in you, and you're going to be invested in them, you should invest more time in those friendships than the ones who you just know if it's not really going to last.
I would say the same thing, intentionality. But there's a lot of people I say like, yeah, that's my friend, but like we're just acquaintances. I don't know anything about their life. We haven't talked in like 2 years. Yeah. But I think it's okay to like have friends that you see in town, or maybe you see them at social events every once in a while and like saying hi and catching up. But like she said, like you really, to have good friends and good intentional friendships where you know each other deeply and are with each other through life, you really could probably only have like 5 or less to keep up with them. I used to be one of those people that had like 12. And I was really overwhelmed, and I honestly didn't feel like I knew any of them that well because I was spread so thin that like I couldn't give enough time to every friend, so I didn't feel like I was being a very good friend. So I just had to be more intentional with like choosing who I was going to spend more time with and who I really wanted to keep in my life long term and be more intentional with, and then the other ones kind of separating yourself from, which I think we could move into that topic now. A lot of people ask this question. I don't have it like down, but if you feel like a friendship is unhealthy and you don't want to be friends with them anymore, How do you do that?
I definitely think you probably have more to say about this because of your experiences, but I definitely think that you need to hold yourself accountable to having conversations with those people, because I think it's really easy for people, myself included, to be offended by something or have an unhealthy relationship with someone and not try and sort it out. Because the quick and easy thing is to flee from it and not deal with the conflict, because some people don't like the conflict, or addressing things that are bothering you, whatever it is. But if you don't address those things and you just bail, you're not really that good of a friend either. Like you have to address the conflict and probably be in an uncomfortable situation and have awkward conversations with people, telling them that you're not happy with the friendship. That's not really a fun conversation to have. But if you are just ditching the friendship without having that conversation, you're doing that person a disservice yourself and not offering them.
And you're just causing more drama than there needs to be.
Yeah.
It's dramatic. Don't be so dramatic.
Yep.
Like, I just think keep it simple and be honest with people, and it's hard and they hate it.
If you and a friend can have conflict and have those honest conversations and you both receive it, your friendship is way stronger afterwards.
True.
Like any of your relationships in life that you have disagreements with people, but you have to talk through them, you're usually a lot closer to that person.
Okay, so I've done both. I would say that I've done the thing where some of you are saying here, you're trying to slowly drift away from people you've been friends with for years. Don't do that. It's just, I've done that and it feels awkward. Like, if I see them in public, I feel awkward because I feel like there's like unfinished business. I never told them why I left. I just stopped replying to them and I stopped inviting them to things, and it was nothing wrong with them. I just didn't feel like we were good for each other, me and that friend group, and it was just unhealthy for me to be in, I guess, to keep it simple. I was at that time in my life where I wasn't very comfortable confronting things, so I just slowly stopped talking to them. Anyway, I still feel really uncomfortable about it to this day, but it's like too late now to even say anything. So that's more for like you. I think that it would bother you more if you didn't say anything than if you were just honest with them. And like she said, sometimes if you're honest with them, they're willing to work through it with you and then you'll be stronger. Sometimes they're not, and I have that story too. There's one specific friend, I've had this for a few instances, but there's one friend that was pretty dishonest with me a lot, and like obviously we were really, really close and I loved her and I thought she was great and she's awesome and she's fun, which are like a lot of the reasons I think people stay friends with someone. However, I didn't trust her because she lied to me all the time, and I confronted her about it a couple times in a very loving way, just saying like, is there a reason you're lying to me? Is this something we can work through? Like, why are you lying to someone that you're calling your friend? And she denied it, which doesn't even make sense when you already know the truth and they're telling you a lie. So just over time I stopped trusting her as a friend. It just was pretty unhealthy, and I was like, you know, the thing about friendships is it's different than family. You don't get to choose your family, but you get to choose your friends, and I don't know why you would choose to keep someone in your life that's not trustworthy or treats you poorly, talks crap about you, especially if you try to work through it with them and they're still not willing to do that. Then like, what's the point? A friendship is supposed to be something that's like fun and uplifting and encouraging in your life. And if they're anything other than that, then it's not healthy and they shouldn't be in your life. That was really awkward, and I had to tell the person that I didn't want them in my life anymore because I didn't think it was healthy. I kept it pretty simple. I said, I still love you, I just don't think this is healthy for either one of us. And that was the last time we talked. And it's really awkward when we see each other, but I feel good that I was honest about it. And so I feel way more peace about that situation than the one where I just left and didn't explain anything. So that was a lot of talking, but is that good? Okay. Yep. Last question is, how can we as individuals better ourselves to be the friends others need us to be? How can we attract good friendships? I think you should be the kind of friend you want to have. That's pretty simple. I think you attract the kind of people you are, and also, you know that saying, like, you become who you surround yourself with? That is true. So be careful. Look around you and see if you want to become like the people you're with, because you probably already have become like them. I think if you're like a good, honest, good-hearted person, then you're gonna attract those kind of people. Whatever you're expecting in your friendships, like if you want friends that are gonna be loyal, you should draw a circle around yourself and figure out if you're being loyal to people yourself. Any of the things that you're expecting, you should be giving. That is all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope it was helpful. If you want us to do a part 2 or more specific questions, then let us know in the comments below, because we really like barely put a dent in the questions. There's still a ton on here. Anything else you want to say? Thanks for being our friend. Okay. Bye.